Welcome to episode 8 of Let's Talk Pokemon, the podcast where we talk anything and everything Pokemon. I'm going to start this episode off with kind of a hot take. It's a slow news week. Not a lot's going on announcement-wise. There hasn't been anything major since our last week's episode. And I figured, why not? I mean, this episode's going to be fairly short anyway. So let me kind of express an opinion of mine that a lot of people are probably not going to be very happy with what I have to say. But I just figured I'd just come out and say it anyway. And I'd be interested in seeing if people can kind of maybe see this perspective. So, what this really addresses is the whole Gen 4 remake thing. Because there's a lot of buzz going around right now that there's Diamond and Pearl remakes coming. And I get it, right? Ever since we got our Gen 3 remakes, obviously the next goal is to get Gen 4 remakes. And I'm all for that. Like, I'm not going to say that I don't want Gen 4 remakes. I'll take anything and everything Pokemon. Like, that my heart is set on. And if there's a Pikachu slapped in the corner of a t-shirt, I'm going to eye it for a while, see if it suits my style, and I'm most likely just going to buy it anyway. But when it comes to remakes, like, I get it. Like, remakes are fun. Remakes are something to look forward to. What was the first set of remakes? Was it Fire Red, Leaf Green? I thought those were great games. I enjoyed those games. Then we had Heart Gold, Soul Silver. I thought they were great games as well. Very cool that it came with a Poké Walker. Who didn't like the Poké Walker? I remember using that quite often. What else? We got the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, which, to be honest with you, I did not really play. I think I have Omega Ruby, but I never got that far into it. Gen 3 is kind of where I started tapering off from Pokemon. It wasn't my favorite gen, so you know, I didn't really buy too much into it. But the remake overall looked kind of cool. Then we got the Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, which were essentially another remake of Kanto. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with these remakes, but what I don't, I guess, agree with, or maybe I don't like, is the constant expectation or the mentality of every single game is going to have to get a remake. Are remakes eventually going to happen? I think so. I feel like at some point, maybe every single one of these generations is going to get a remake. We're probably eventually going to see a Sword and Shield remake. It'd be kind of weird, but who knows? My thing, though, is that I don't feel like remakes are needed anymore. So what I mean by this, Let's Go has to be excluded from this conversation, because Let's Go, I feel like, was definitely just a passion project that, you know, the director really wanted these games to happen, as he said in his interview, and that was it. This was like his last hurrah in a way. So, you know, put that off to the side, because again, I don't think this should be counted in this conversation. But my, I guess, thinking is that these remakes, these Diamond and Pearl remakes, are not needed because we already have everything that we need to transfer Pokemon. When we first got our set of DS games, it was very difficult, I think, to transfer Pokemon up. I don't think there was actually a way to transfer Pokemon from, like, you know, regular Red and Blue or even Gold and Silver into, you know, those DS games, into Black and White. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I didn't do a whole... I kind of skipped that generation, but when I kept thinking about these remakes and I kept thinking about Pokemon Bank, it made sense for Red and Blue to be put on the Virtual Console. It made sense for Gold and Silver to be put on the Virtual Console. It made sense for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire to happen, because now every generation has a chance, or has this opportunity, to move their Pokemon, right? You can move the Pokemon in any of these games now into Pokemon Bank, all the way up till, what, Gen 7, which is Alola, right? Because we're in Gen 8. Yeah, Gen 7 Alola, Sun and Moon, everything was on the 3DS. You had accessibility to every game on the 3DS, every single Pokemon generation. So in order for you to complete your national decks, then it was all right there for you. All you had to do was just drop it into Pokemon Bank, and then you can move your live decks, your Pokemon, wherever you needed to. Now with the Switch console, it just feels very awkward to have a Diamond and Pearl remake kind of like just jammed in here in the middle of nowhere, right? You're gonna get, maybe not so much as the conversation of, there's gonna be people like, oh, where's my Kanto Switch remake, and then people argue, oh, you got Let's Go. Okay, fine. What about where's my Gold and Silver Switch remake? Where's my Ruby and Sapphire Switch remake? Like, every generation then is going to demand a remake. And for all the Gen 4, crowd, hey, again, I'm not saying that, I don't want Gen 4 remakes. I'm all for it. But, do we not care then about those other players? Like, is that fair? And I guess maybe fair is just, who cares at this point? We're going to get a new Pokemon game, so just be happy with whatever we get. But I just feel like, it would be cool to revisit Hoenn in a Switch console. It would be cool to visit Johto or Johto, I guess, in a Switch console. Yes, again, you could argue that Kanto we've already revisited on the Switch. We got the Let's Go games, but still, it doesn't matter. Like, every single one of these generations, if you're going to make a remake, then have a remake on the console that it's stationed for, the console that it's currently for, right? Because again, up to Sun and Moon, everything was available on the 3DS or the DS in general, and you had access to Pokemon Bank. Now with Pokemon Home, you have to have everything being transferred through the Switch console, and it is a little bit more difficult to now collect the national decks, basically, because you would have to first deposit your Pokemon into Pokemon Bank and then move from Pokemon Bank into Pokemon Home. So it's kind of cumbersome because how to get those Pokemon Bank varies. Like, there are some weird transferring methods in some of the earlier Pokemon games. So it's not very convenient. I think that's the word I'm looking for, is that it's not very convenient. If you jam in Diamond and Pearl remakes, and of course it has to be a particular Pokédex with it, then do you have that ability to complete your national decks through just the Switch games? Like, I don't know. I feel like maybe Game Freak would want to consider that. Are they going to go through with it? Most likely. I mean, right now, there's a lot of rumors going around that are supposedly being confirmed that we are going to get an announcement of a Diamond and Pearl remake coming out sometime next week. At least the announcement's next week, and then the game itself is probably coming out in the fall. And I'll be just excited as everybody else about it, because again, I love Pokemon and I will play anything Pokemon. But I just always had that mentality of like, if it doesn't happen, it's not a big deal. Like, I can go back and play, Diamond Pearl on my DS. I can just replay those games and get my value out of it. I don't necessarily need the remake. I think that's where it comes down to, is like, I want the remake. I understand that I would like this remake to happen, but that doesn't dictate what the company should do. I feel like Game Freak has done fairly well in their decisions. I don't know. I stood on the side of the whole National Dex controversy of like, who cares? Like, so what if they cut some Pokemon? It doesn't matter, because I'd rather play with the newer Pokemon anyway. But that's just my mentality on it. I think I would fall into the crowd of like, hey, if Diamond and Pearl can get a remake on the Switch, then I want to see other regions get a remake on the Switch. I want to see Hoenn on the Switch. I want to see Johto on the Switch. Unova, Sinnoh, like those, that would be really cool. In fact, it would be great if we can have like a MMORPG of Pokemon. But we can only wish for so much. But anyway, that's kind of how I wanted to start the episode. Was like, hey, controversy, I guess. Because, I guess the Diamond and Pearl fans are loud out there on social media. And I don't blame you guys. I get it. The excitement is there. And I know you're looking forward to it. But just what I don't like to see is if they don't announce a Diamond and Pearl remake, right? If they don't even hint at all towards it anymore. Are you then going to just all of a sudden hate Pokemon Company? Like, is that what it comes down to? Because they chose not to remake one of your games? I don't know. If you are a fan of Pokemon and like Pokemon as much as the next hardcore Pokemon fan, then not getting a remake of your favorite game or not getting something that you expected to get shouldn't be like the end all be all to your liking of Pokemon. But that's just my opinion. I'm sure I feel like maybe I said one or two things like not the right way, but hopefully you kind of get where I'm coming from. Again, I am not saying I don't want Diamond and Pearl remakes. I'm just saying that they are not needed and we shouldn't be, getting our expectations and our hopes, so high because, maybe Game Freak thinks the same way that they're not needed. And so why would they invest their time and money into Diamond and Pearl remakes? But c'est la vie. There is quite a bit of news to get through, although it's not going to be as extensive as the previous episode's been. No huge announcements. It's been kind of quiet since the whole Post Malone concert, virtual music concert announcement that we got last week. So, it's kind of the calm before the storm, I guess you could say, with Pokemon Day just right around the corner. But let's go ahead and go through some of these new announcements that I haven't touched on yet, and some that just popped up just today. So we'll start with this, the Funko Pops. I've expressed in my last episode that I'm not a fan of how they just keep reissuing these Funko Pops, like the same characters, just in a different style. You got the Flocked, you got the different poses, now you got the Diamond. And it was speculated last time, or there was evidence, that there was a Diamond Charmander found at Walmart, and it is confirmed. It's an Emerald City Comic-Con exclusive that's going to be, I think, on the Funko Shop as well as Target. It's a Target exclusive as a shared retailer, and on top of that, which this is weird to me because if they did Charmander, I would assume they would also do Bulbasaur and Squirtle. Like that would make sense. But the second Diamond Funko Pop they announced with this Charmander is a Vaporeon. Now, I'm not completely against this in the sense that I do like Vaporeon. It is a water-type Pokemon, so I'm obviously biased, and I think the diamonds on it look pretty cool. I guess for the aesthetic of it, it's nice, but it's such a random Pokemon, I think. Like, it out of nowhere. It's almost like they put all the Funko Pops on a slip of piece of paper and put them in a hat and then just drew one on random, and it was like, oh, we got Vaporeon. I don't quite understand this matchup, and what's even, it's not necessarily weirder, but it's an interesting exclusive with the retailer Barnes & Noble. Like, I haven't seen a Barnes & Noble exclusive, I think, in a very long time, or at least Barnes & Noble having its own exclusive, because I think out of all the Emerald City Comic-Con exclusives that was announced today, Vaporeon seems to be the only one at Barnes & Noble, so hopefully that's not too hard to get. I don't know how many people actually go to Barnes & Noble for their Funko Pops, but if it is just exclusive there, I guess a lot of eyes will turn their way. Although, again, these Diamond Funko Pops, like, they could have just done different Pokemon. I don't know, Carbink, right? Or Deancey. That would kind of make a little bit more sense. Like, make new Pokemon and make it that version. I mean, if you're going to do a Flocked Pokemon, a Wooloo, Mareep, maybe. I don't know. It's getting to a point where I almost want to quit collecting Funko Pokemon Pops, but I'm already in too deep, and the only one that hasn't that I have not yet to obtain is that Flocked Mewtwo, but I have all the other ones. Like, why stop now? I don't know, but they just gotta calm down with these different styles and just give us new Pokemon instead of already released Pokemon, just different version of it. Another news announcement that I actually forgot to mention last week. I mean, there was a bunch last week, so this one kind of slipped the radar here. But the Pokemon Company International has confirmed that the next and final batch of episodes for this series of Pokemon Journeys are set to be released on March 5th, 2021. So this is going to be the final last 12 episodes of Season 1 of Pokemon Journeys. Of course, we're going to get Season 2. There hasn't been confirmation as to whether or not that's going to come back to us again through Netflix, although I don't see why it wouldn't be Netflix again, considering that they've already had a whole good number of Pokemon releases on there. I don't know who else would pick up Pokemon. I mean, I think very easily, right? Disney Plus could probably pick up Pokemon if they wanted to. I don't know about Hulu. I hope not, because Hulu's it's one of those least popular streaming services. I don't know what else, but I think it's almost safe to say that Netflix is going to be the home for the second season, and hopefully we'll get that announcement. Maybe they'll announce that on Pokemon Day. That season 2 is definitely coming on Netflix for sure. But I'm excited for this for this next 12 episodes, and if everything's calmed down by then, I'll give like my full thoughts and everything about the entire first season of Pokemon Journeys. So very much looking forward to that. In Pokemon Center. There's some new merchandise that just dropped in addition to all the what is it? The Greatest Hits collection. They added some new lanyards. I think there's 3 or 4 new lanyards: blue, green, red, and then there's like a black and white version. On the lanyard itself, it's like little Pokeballs on there. So they're pretty nice. But in addition to that, they've also dropped a whole new slate of pins. The first 3 that kind of dropped were these, what they call the Galar Evolution pins. They're kind of almost like lockets in a way. So the front cover of the pin is a metal version of the Galar starter. So it's like, Grookey, Scorbunny, and Sobble. But when you open it up, the I guess inside as a background portrait or photo or whatever is the other 2 evolutions. So if you open up Sobble, then the background on the inside would be is it Drizzile and Inteleon. I almost forgot Drizzile. I think that's how you say it. So they're kind of neat. Not necessarily my type of pins. I do like the old-fashioned kind that they usually do with the collection boxes. But nevertheless, I mean, if you're really big into the Galar starters, I mean, why not? Like these do make for like a good, I guess, centerpiece, like if you're gonna frame it or something like that. I've seen people frame their pins and make like nice collages out of them, and just kind of arrange them in a way that makes sense, and I think that would be a way to go with those. And so in addition to those pins, there's more pins, the old-fashioned kind, as I already mentioned, but some of the legendary Pokemon, and some of the starters from various regions. Kind of interesting. Again, kind of a random set. I don't know I guess it's just in preparation for Pokemon 25th anniversary. Why not pick up some starter evolution pins? There was a Blastoise, Venusaur, Charizard combination. There was a Superior Emboar. Superior Emboar, and is it Samurott? I think those are the 3 for that region. Hopefully I'm not wrong on that, but they're in a 3-pack on their own as well. So there's a good number of them, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they're from previously released collection boxes or if they are brand new pins. But I mean, if you are a pin collector and you know that you don't have these particular ones, now is the time to get those. And then the last thing that dropped that I checked before recording this, there was a Galarian Mr. Mime plush that got dropped, which is pretty neat. Galarian Mr. Mime, not my favorite kind of Pokemon. Very scarier than the standard Mr. Mime. Although the Kanto Mr. Mime has gotten some popularity because of the anime. But I am very much looking forward if they're going to drop a Mr. Rhyme plush. I don't know what exactly it is that's really catching my interest with this Mr. Rhyme, but ever since I saw him like in a raid, he's like just tap dancing away with like a jolly old Pokemon. I don't know. I think he's definitely like climbing up the ranks as far as like one of my favorites for sure. So I'll definitely keep an eye out for a Mr. Rhyme plush if that is going to drop. I think that'd be pretty sweet. But that's it for Pokemon Center. So besides that, everything else is going to be TCG and the video game stuff, which again, it's not a whole lot. It's the calm before the storm. I'm always going to refer to it to that because it is Pokemon Day, just like slightly over a week away, and so we're probably going to get bombarded actually by announcements after Pokemon Day, or just everything will be dropped by then. But let's go ahead and talk about the TCG a little bit. Still, cards are a little hard to find, although I am glad to see that finally, the Target nearby where I live has finally put limits on their purchases. Like, you can only, I think, have up to 3 in combination of any of the card products. I don't know what took them so long to do that, but hey, they were there. And I think I saw there wasn't very much left. I think there was just like some Forbidden Light packs, if anything. There were like 3-pack blisters. I think they came with like the binder. So that was kind of random. I didn't think Forbidden Light would come back, but I do recall getting quite a bit of those packs because there was the Greninja GX in there. So I might want to go back and pick one of those up. But in the TCG realm, news-wise, so we did get some leaks or some revealed cards of some of the new stuff from Matchless Fighter. It's Japan's next set, the S5A Matchless Fighter set. And we have seen a Blaziken V, a Galarian Slowking V, as well as their respective V Maxes and a couple of trainer cards. The V Maxes do look really, really good, especially the Blaziken one. There's something very aggressive about it, but nevertheless, I think this one looks to be interesting. The cards themselves, the Slowking V has like an attack where if the defending Pokemon doesn't retreat, then it's gone by the next turn. And then there's a Beedrill in this set that if there's an energy card attached to your opponent, then the Pokemon is automatically knocked out. So very interesting, I guess, straight to the point. Like, hey, I'm not going to waste time putting damage. I'm just going to knock you out completely. So I'm curious to see what kind of strategies are going to come out of that next set. In addition to that, we got some info on the new V Battle decks. Now, we did just get our Blastoise V and our Venusaur V themed decks, or battle decks, I guess I should say now. And there was that combo that sold for $30. Same style, same everything, except different set of cards. This time around in these new V Battle decks, we got Gardevoir V and Victini V, and this is going to be released in May. So the actual press release here from PokeBeach goes, the next versions of the V Battle decks will feature Victini V and Gardevoir V. Both cards are reprints, but feature brand new artwork that hasn't been seen in Japan yet. Each 60-card deck will release on May 7th for $14.99. So pretty cool. I'm probably not gonna pick up either one of these. You know what? I'm gonna bite my tongue on that one. Maybe not. If I'm gonna continue doing the YouTube thing, maybe I'll do an unboxing and kind of review the cards and check them out there. But they're gonna be $15 each, and then they do have that 2-pack that is going to contain both, as well as, I believe, 8 extra cards, and 2 of them are going to be hollow. They're trainer cards, but 2 of them are going to be hollow trainer cards. And that will retail for $29.99. In addition to that product, we have an announcement of a new collection box, a Galarian Rapidash V box. A new Galarian Rapidash V box will release on May 7th for $19.99. It will feature Galarian Rapidash V as a promo card and jumbo card, contain 4 booster packs and a PTCGO card. The box to this is really cool. Like, this is one of the best boxes I think I've seen coming out of a Pokemon collection box. And I just like the aesthetic to it, the color scheme, the design, the patterns and everything. It's like a really great looking box. The Galarian Rapidash V itself, it's an interesting pose. Probably, I wouldn't say it's the best pose they could have done for Galarian Rapidash. Something's a little off about it. I don't know if it's because of the glowing horn that just kind of distracts from everything else. But nevertheless, Galarian Rapidash is a very cool Pokemon, and I'm glad that it's getting a V card on its own. And I'm curious if it'll get a VMAX card in that set. So for you Galarian Rapidash fans, there you go. You have until May to wait for that box. And then we did get some info on the Battle Styles pre-release promos. So in the build and battle decks, as they now call them, There's been an update on what the pre-release promos are going to be, and they're going to be Cherim, Octillery, Houndoom, and Bronzong, which are all highly playable. Cherim and Bronzong, well, Cherim I think helps out with grass energy. Bronzong helps out with metal energy transfer. Octillery and Houndoom, they do help out with their single strike and rapid strike strategies respectively. So, these pre-release promos are going to be highly sought after for sure. Something about the stamp that really gets people going. I do like the stamp. Sometimes there are certain cards that it looks nice. Sometimes it's just in the way. Especially now that with the single strike and rapid strike being the opposite corner of where the stamp would usually be, it might be a little too crowded, I think. But that's just my opinion, and I haven't really seen the card, all fully fleshed out. Like, I don't think, the final design of it. It might have been on that article. I just didn't notice it. But we'll see in due time. We'll see what happens from there. All right, in the video game realm, nothing coming out of Pokemon Cafe, so we can kind of skip that one. But let's talk about Pokemon Sword and Shield. There's only really one thing to highlight here, and that's that shiny toxicity that we kind of mentioned last week. So GameStop have further confirmed the upcoming distribution of shiny toxicity in the US, and it's to run from February 19th, 2021, or at least that's when it'll start. And then it'll be also available in-store or curbside through Pokemon Pass, giving a serial code in order to celebrate the release of the TCG set Shining Fates. So that's something to look forward to this weekend as you go try to hunt down those cards, because it's sounding to be like it's going to be a mayhem trying to get those Shining Fates. I hope not. The problem is that some Walmarts and Targets have already started to release their Shining Fates somehow. Like they've gotten them early, and so people have already been buying them up. So unfortunately, it may be slim pickings this weekend. But if TPCI is keeping to their word about reprinting many of their products and sets, then hopefully we'll see more as the time goes by. It's just a waiting game at this point. The patience is definitely a virtue. As cliche as that sounds, patience is what we all need at this point. In addition to all the video game madness, Pokemon Unite, that's right, adding a new, we abandoned Pokemon Cafe and put in Pokemon Unite. I think it's getting closer and closer to that supposed release date. Some people are speculating Pokemon Day. I don't think so. We might on Pokemon Day get an official announcement for the release date. But the Pokemon Company have announced a regional beta for Pokemon Unite starting in March for players in Canada on Android devices. The beta is limited to Android, but the game will release on iOS and Switch. Interested players can register on the Google Play Store. Progress will be reset after the beta test, and devices need 3 GB of RAM to run the game. Capture or streaming of gameplay is not allowed during the regional beta test. So this is exciting, right? We're getting closer and closer to getting Pokemon Unite, the Pokemon MOBA crossover that we didn't think we needed. And there's been already a lot of talk about it. There's been some leaks already from a player in China, and there's been a lot of questionable things, but I'm going to hold judgment until I see all the official stuff, and then I play it myself, and we'll see what happens. Blastoise is in there. That's all I care about, really, is that Blastoise is in there, and that's all I need. So I'm looking forward to Pokemon Unite. I want to give it a shot, and hopefully it's another Pokemon game I can add to my list of daily Pokemon games to play. Let's go ahead and talk about Pokemon Go. We've already covered the Kanto Tour stuff, and there's nothing new that kind of came out of that. Everything's just kind of been prepared. We just got done with the Valentine's Day event, and we have a day basically to kind of relax, and then Saturday is the big day that starts the Kanto celebration, and then the day after that starts the Kanto celebration week-long tour, and then everyone's going to be rushing to get that shiny Mew, even though as long as you open, you paid the ticket event, you open your game, you get the research, then you have it as long as, however long it takes you to complete it, you're going to get that shiny Mew. But I think it's that rush to see who's going to get the shiny Mew first. regardless, there was a new event, and I don't think this was any surprise, but Niantic have announced the next Raid Day event in Pokemon Go. This event runs on February 28th and features increased raids of Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. Giovanni will be returning with a different Shadow Legendary Pokemon with new special research to go with it. A remote raid pass box will be available, giving 3 remote raid passes for free. You can also get 5 free raid passes for spinning Pokestops or gyms. Team Go Rocket will appear more frequently in balloons and at Pokestops during this event. And during this event, you'll be able to use a charged TM to make a Shadow Pokemon forget frustration. This is pretty cool. It's just another opportunity to get the legendary birds. I'm wondering if their shinies will also be available. I would assume so. Nothing in here says that they won't have their shinies. Giovanni be returning with different Shadow Legendary Pokemon. I don't know what that means. Like, what are they going to give Shadow Mewtwo again? But it says different. So are we doing other legendaries that are not Kanto? I'm not quite sure, but nevertheless, this is kind of a cool little event to have, and this is on a Sunday of all days, which is strange because I don't think they've done really a Sunday event in a while, besides Community Day, of course. So something to look forward to. Braids, I might want to, I think I might want to capitalize on this because I usually have nothing else to do on a Sunday. So this would be cool. All right, let's go on to Pokemon Masters. All right, there's a couple of new things. There's been a Spotlight Scout that's been up and coming. That's going to run until March 4th, and that features Clamont and Heliolisk and Serena and Fennekin. And Serena does have EX potential, so in case you want to raise her to that 6-star EX. But new stuff has been added. We do know that there is a new story chapter, Interlude 7, that has been added to Pokemon Masters. This adds a few story stages, continuing the aspect of the story featuring Lair's capture by Team Break, while allowing people to use the exclusive sync pairs of Lair, Hoopa, Rachel and Umbreon, and Sawyer and Honchkrow. In addition to that, we also have the Legendary Arena Cresselia event. This event will run until March 4th and provide a challenge against Cresselia in order to get a variety of rewards. And with this, we also get a new Spotlight Scout of Piers and Obstagoon, which I've already spent 3,000 gems on. I did not get a Piers and Obstagoon, so I'm a little sad about that. But if I do the story stuff, hopefully I'll get a few more gems that I need to get another 3,000, and I'll do another 11 pull, and I'll take my chances then. But there you go. That's pretty much it when it comes to Pokemon Masters. I haven't tried the Legendary Arena for Cresselia yet, so maybe next week. I'm sure I'll have tried it by then, and I can give my thoughts on that. I was unsuccessful in the Regirock one. I didn't pass that last tier, but hopefully Cresselia is not as difficult, but I also don't want it to be as too easy either, because I do like the challenge. I completely forgot, and I don't know how I did, because this was actually my favorite announcement coming out of Pokemon Go. So, sorry, let's take a step back really quick into Pokemon Go. But we did get an announcement for the new Community Day, and I'm very, very excited for this because this is one of my favorite Pokemon. We are getting a Fletchling Community Day. This is got some sort of mixed response. People don't like, apparently, a common, what they would call a Route 1 bird as a community Pokemon. People really want the rares, which I get it, I do, but I really like Fletchling, and I really like Talonflame, and I'm very, very excited for this event. It will have 3 times catch experience, it will have a 3-hour incense, it'll also give the move Incinerate to Talonflame, and you will be able to purchase a ticket to receive special research, The Bravest Bird. It'll run on from 11 to 5 on March 6th. So very, very very excited for this event. I'm looking forward to it. The shinies are okay, but I just like the fact that I get to catch flame birds. That's what we call them, firebirds. Talonflame is such a cool Pokemon, a very good design, and the typing is great for it. It makes more sense to me. Sure, there's Charizard. I'm over Charizard. I rather have the Talonflame over Charizard for sure. But that is it as far as the announcements go. Like I said, it's very little. It's not a whole lot, and that's good because that just means that when Pokemon Day comes, they're gonna drop a lot of announcements left and right, and it's gonna be a little disappointing if nothing big comes out of Pokemon Day, but I almost want to bet that they won't let that happen, but we'll see. We'll see what happens when we get there. All right, it is now time for our last segment of the episode, our Pokédex Trivia, where I read to you a Pokédex entry for a Pokemon that you will have to figure out who it is based on the Pokédex entry I read to you. Now, I will not mention from which game the Pokédex entry comes from, and as I give you time after the fact to think about your answer, I'll try to drop a hint here or there, though some of these Pokédex entries kind of give it away, like the Aura Sphere. Well, it said Aura in last week's episode or 2 weeks ago when we had Lucario, so I felt like that kind of hinted and kind of gave it away, but we shall see. But without further ado, let's go ahead and read the Pokédex entry for this week's Pokemon. Their food sources have decreased, and their numbers have declined sharply. Sludge ponds are being built to prevent their extinction. All right, start thinking what you think it could possibly be. I feel like there's a kind of a hint already in the Pokédex entry itself. Their food sources have decreased, and their numbers have declined sharply. Sludge ponds are being built to prevent their extinction. Any ideas yet? Any guesses? I mean, I feel, again, the sludge has to probably give it away. Although there's a few Pokemon that are sludge related, so it could be, it could be any one of them. Who knows? Well, I mean, technically I do. You're the one trying to guess. You ready? You got your answer locked in? You think you got it right? All right, here we go. The answer is none other than Muck. Muck is our Pokemon of this episode. The sludge probably kind of gave it away, although I could understand if you're thinking maybe Garbodor or possibly, oh man, what is the Pokemon that's just like a Gulpin? That's it. I was gonna say the Pokemon that just swallows everything. Not Snorlax, Gulpin. Is Gulpin kind of sludge-like? Maybe not. But Muck is a cool Pokemon. I think ever since the Bellsprout versus Muck episode in the Indigo League series, like something about Muck, man, has grown on me, and I can't quite put my finger on it, but I'm all for anything and everything Muck. Do I have a shiny Muck in Pokemon Go? I think I have a shiny Grimer, but I'm not too much of a fan of the shiny anyway. It's kind of just like a blah green, and I don't know. I would have liked a little bit more brighter color, I guess. But then you have the Alolan Muck, which does have the various colors, but I don't know, something about it just throws me off. And at the end of the day, I'll just take a regular old Muck. There's nothing wrong with that. Some trivia behind Muck here. Muck shares similar traits to Weezing and Garbodor. All three Pokemon are pure Poison-type Pokemon with a single pre-evolved form, roughly the same base stat totals and evolution levels, and appear to be based on a different kind of pollution, Muck being water pollution, which I never stopped to think about that. Like, each of these things that cause pollution to the environment are specific factors, I guess. I recall Grimer, being climbing out of a sewer on a TCG card, but then you don't really see any more, art behind that. So that's why I never associated Muck with water pollution. Although it does make sense. Let's see what else is here. Alolan Muck and its Alolan pre-evolved form were designed by Hitoshi Ariga. And Muck is one of the two Pokemon to have the shortest English Pokemon name, Mew being the other one. That's not a bad trivia. But there you go. Yeah, Muck is our Pokemon of the episode. You let me know how you feel about Muck. I don't know how many people actually like Muck. I feel like it's got more hate than it does love. But hopefully you prove me wrong. But that's pretty much the end of our episode. Like I've already mentioned, maybe once, twice, 3 times, 4,000 times, this is the calm before the storm. And so I feel like next week's episode, it's going to be right before Pokemon Day. It'll probably be another short episode, probably talking about the Kanto Tour event. And then if there's any sort of Pokemon announcements, if they do a Pokemon Direct before Pokemon Day, that'll be kind of interesting. And it's quite possible we might need to do a two episode a week the following week, just because there might be so much announced at Pokemon Day, but we shall get there when we get there. If you guys want to follow me on social media or get a hold of me or communicate with me anyway, you can follow me at SpartanStrike07 on Twitter and Instagram, as well as YouTube. Although, again, as I will always say every week until something changes, all my YouTube is a bunch of my old pack openings as well as my podcast episodes. So if you just want to take a gander at some of the old stuff, feel free to do so. Hopefully soon I'll get some cards, though, because I would like to go back to card opening. And if you want to email me, you can email me at spartanstrike07@gmail.com. All of that stuff will be posted in the description below. But thank you guys again for another wonderful time. Sorry for it being so short, but if you'd like to provide some topics that you want me to talk about on next week's episode, hey, I'm all for it. Please, send it my way and maybe I'll bring it up. But without further ado, again, thank you, everybody, and I can't wait till next week till we continue to talk everything and anything Pokemon.